Welcome, everyone, to tonight's Hookup with Real Estate Masterclass. We're excited for you to be here, and we have a very special guest, Adam Gower, Ph.D., and I will introduce him momentarily, but first a brief housekeeping. Ken, would you mind sharing the disclaimer?
Surely. We appreciate you attending the Hookup with Real Estate Masterclass. We are not financial advisors. The content we provide is strictly for educational purposes and not intended as legal, financial, tax, or investment advice, nor is it a solicitation for funds. Remember, participation in this program is at your own discretion. Real estate markets are subject to change and can be dynamic. Hookup with Real Estate and its representatives are not liable for any outcomes resulting from the information provided or engagements with third-party providers. Seek professional advice before making any real estate or investment decisions. By attending, you consent to this event being recorded and understand that internet security is not absolute.
I thank you. All right. That's Ken. I'm Donna. We are Hookup with Real Estate. And our mission is to empower aspiring and early real estate investors with exceptional education, invaluable skills, and genuine opportunities to invest in real estate while sharing strategies that guide them towards success and away from costly beginner mistakes like we made early on in our career, which are documented in the book, Real Women in Real Estate. And Trevor was a sponsor of that. So thank you, Trevor. Now, just briefly, my husband Ken is a licensed realtor, real estate investor, tile contractor, and a veteran. And if you're in the northern New Jersey area, this is his website, kenneth-hook.weichert.com. Okay, we are powered by Legends Equity Group. That's how we got our start. This is one of our multifamily properties here in Las Vegas. And they not only run real estate education, but they also run some self-development, which is called Legends Breakthrough, and it's really terrific. The next one is May 28th through 30th in Salt Lake City, Utah. And there's a link here if anyone's interested. Okay. Additionally, we are part of an industrial flex team. This is a 506C that we currently have available for offering. So that's accredited investors only. And if you're interested in finding out, this is in North Dakota. These two buildings are the third building. The one behind it is number one building, and then there's a second building elsewhere. So we're having market saturation in this area for this type of small bay. So any questions, just reach out to me. Okay, next. Oh, wait, why do we have two of these? All right, there are two ways to connect with us. We have a YouTube channel, which you can like and subscribe to. It's called, if once you go on YouTube, the @ Hook Up with Real Estate, all one word. And we have a Facebook channel, which is a groups page with an S, groups/Hook Up with Real Estate. Of course, we're on LinkedIn as well. Okay. So if you ever want to take the next step and get real guidance, real strategies, and real investment opportunities, then you can book a strategy call with us. And this is our calendar to keep us abreast of when our next master class will be. So we do the monthly, and the exceptions, generally the fourth Wednesday, but in November and December we do the third Wednesdays, just to avoid the holidays. Okay. And Ken, would you read the quote of the day?
Yes, capital is that part of wealth which is devoted to obtaining further wealth. Alfred Marshall.
Thank you. And now we get to the good stuff. We get to introduce our special guest. Adam Gower, Ph.D., is a commercial real estate strategist and founder of Gower Crowd, where he helps sponsors raise equity capital through data-driven digital marketing systems enhanced by AI, artificial intelligence. With more than 30 years of experience and over 1.5 billion in transactions, he advises operators across the full deal lifecycle from capital formation to investor communications. Today, Adam's work focuses on integrating AI into commercial real estate workflows to improve underwriting, marketing efficiency, and decision making, while educating experienced sponsors on how to scale their capital raising in a more competitive and technologically evolving environment. Adam also runs his own terrific podcast, which you can find at Gower Crowd on YouTube and many other platforms. So please help me welcome Adam Gower as he shares his insights on AI in real estate capital formation. Stop sharing.
Thanks, Donna.
Okay. So we always like to start with the question, how you got started in real estate.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Simple question to ask, a long one to answer. I'll try and keep it brief. But actually, the way that I started in real estate was knocking on doors when I was 18 years old, telling people I'll do anything for $5 an hour. You can tell how old I am. And that was, I don't know if that was a little bit over minimum wage. I forget what it was. It might have been $3.75 at the time. Anyway, it was a long time ago. And I was hired by a general contractor, actually an electrician, who asked me if I'd pull wires for him. So I said yes. So that's how I started. I started pulling wires for an electrician. And so got used to understanding actually what the development side of the business was. I worked with a lot of contractors. It was a lot of fun. It was hard physical labor, but it was a very good insight, a good start to getting to know the industry. Really was at the ground level. From there, and it's a long story, so I will keep it brief. But I started. I was hired by a ground-up multifamily shop in Southern California to help them raise equity capital. So they wanted me to help them raise money for their development deals. And so that was in the 1980s. I raised about 30 million of equity in 1980s money. So that was when, that was a lot of money in those days.
Definitely.
And then the savings and loan crisis hit in the early 1990s, and I'd raised a lot of money in Japan, so my investors actually asked me if I would go and help them with the divestments that they had. So there was a lot of, they hadn't done too well. You mentioned some of the challenges that you had, Donna, and maybe we can talk about those and I can address those as well. It'd be interesting to hear what lessons you learned. But anyway, so the savings and loan crisis, my investors asked me to go to Japan. So I went to Japan. I learned to speak Japanese, helped them with their workouts. Was eventually hired by Universal Studios to head up their Asia Pacific real estate development program. So I did that until the end of the 90s, and came back and started doing my own developments. And in 2007, I got lucky. You asked me how I started, so I'm just going all the way, the whole sweep here, Donna. So you're getting
That's good. No, this is good.
And I started my own development company. And in 2007, I started to get nervous for one reason or another. So I sold everything and was hired into East West Bank, a major California bank, actually one of the largest regional banks headquartered in California. And they'd done a lot of real estate lending. So my job was to help them clean their balance sheet of non-performing loans. So I worked on a portfolio there of about $3 billion of non-performing real estate collateralized loans, selling around $1 billion of them. If you speak to their chairman today, he will, in all seriousness, with a smile on his face, say that I actually helped save the bank, which I did during that time. And then I was hired by Colony Capital. Colony at the time were the third largest private equity real estate shop in the world. And they had purchased around the time around $7 billion of non-performing real estate collateralized loans in part from failed banks in partnership with the FDIC. And so my job over there was to help repackage some of these portfolios and to put them and to sell them to either individual investors or ultimately to banks, good banks. So then all that good distress stuff went away. And by the way, this is what I learned during that period. It's very important. So I went through two tectonic shifts in the real estate industry. The savings and loan crisis wiped out a whole generation of investors, and the global financial crisis did the exact same thing. So the first time around, during the savings and loan crisis, I lost everything. I was in my mid-20s. On paper, I'd made millions of dollars, like literally millions in the 1980s, very, very wealthy. But it was completely wiped out. That's how I ended up going to Japan. In the global financial crisis, though, I was able to exit. But I saw what went wrong from inside a company during the savings and loan crisis. And then during the global financial crisis, working for East West Bank and then for Colony, I saw basically every single asset class that there is and how every deal can go wrong. It looks like I can actually mute people out here. But anyway, if you want to mute someone so we don't get background noise.
Yeah, let me do that.
So that was, so I saw every asset class and I saw how things can go wrong. I also saw how people behave during downturns and how lenders react to that kind of interaction, right? How they behave and how that tees you up or otherwise for coming out the other side of any kind of downturn. So in 2012 or so, by 2012, I'd left Colony and was doing, actually, I'd left real estate as well. I was kind of semi-retired. And so I was doing some seed and angel investing. So this in startups. I knew nothing at all about any of the deals I invested in. Seriously, it was like ridiculous. But I was surrounded by some very, very bright people, and I just kind of followed their lead. But there was so I was standing in front of these 20-year-old, university kids that are either dropping out or still at university, who were starting these incredible companies. None of them had anything at all to do with real estate. But there was a common thread through what all of them, irrespective of what the industry was that they were working in, that was fascinating. And it was the language of digital marketing. And I'd never heard this language before. SEO and Google Analytics. And it was just this whole language that they used. I was like, automated email systems. And I had no idea what any of this stuff was. But it was common amongst all of them. So when the Jobs Act passed in 2012, what that did was it allowed, and by the way, you can stop me if you want at any time, but that allowed for general solicitation. So basically what that switch was for real estate professionals, it allowed you basically to advertise your deals. Now you've advertised your deal at the very beginning of this presentation. You advertised it. Well, before 2012, that was prohibited. Now it is permitted. You can do that actually completely openly. So my screen just did something wacky, so I'll just close down these things. So I realized when that became legal that I connected the dots between the startup world and this new ability for people to raise capital online. And realized that you could, that real estate sponsors for the first time would be able to raise money from people they didn't already have a pre-existing relationship with, they could advertise. So I founded Gower Crowd. And my first client was a multifamily shop. They hired me to build a marketing system for them to find investors and to raise capital for those investors. And they, at the time, were around $300 million of AUM. Today, they are around 1.6 billion or so. They've grown over 5 times. And our clients today, and that's all I do. So for the last 10 years, that's what I've been doing, is building systems for kind of sub-institutional real estate sponsors who have raised now over $1 billion with minimums as low as 25,000 and who manage in excess of 45 billion of assets under management. So I know you told me to be clear about these things. So AUM, they manage about 45 billion of that. But in the last 2 years, I've been focused on integrating AI. I've been running courses for about 18 months. Actually, Trevor, you weren't at that first one a year and a half ago, or it's just the LinkedIn ones you've joined?
I joined the first one. I'm a slow learner, so I had to join a few.
Yeah, you're a great participant. I will tell you that. It's always a joy to have you on board. But anyway, I started doing AI training for real estate in mid-2024. And we just finished up another accelerated executive program specifically for real estate investors. It's a 4-week program. And we have another one actually sponsored by a Canadian association, actually ground up multifamily association sponsoring it. That's going to start up at the end of May. So that is how I started, and I continued all the way to how I got here.
Awesome. Thank you. And somehow you got a PhD along the way. So what is that in?
My PhD actually is it's in a small window of banking history. Okay. So as we've got plenty of time, I will give you a bit of detail on that. Not much, but just a little bit. It's actually interesting because it's not entirely dissimilar. You could probably hear some resonance here, but in 1904, Japan and Russia fought a war. It was called the Russo-Japanese War, 1904-05. And my thesis examined. It was a major event for Japan, but it was also a major event for American banks, New York banks. They invested more money. It was the largest foreign investment in the history, I think in history in general, not just in the United States. And it precipitated the shift of financial power from London to New York. And my thesis covered the underwriting of risk. How did the banks figure out that Japan was a good risk and how they mitigated the risks? And the reason it's actually directly relevant to today is they basically syndicate. They were syndicates. They ran syndicates and they syndicated these offerings to retail investors. It's exactly what we do today. And there are actually a lot of similarities. Actually, if you're interested in learning more about that, there's a show on Netflix. It's called The Titans of Wall Street. Okay. And my family always roll their eyes when I say I starred in it. But I was invited to contribute as an expert on that season. It's actually pretty good. And I think I'm episode 2. It talks about the railroad barons in episode 2. So you'll see me in that show on Netflix if you got nothing better to do this weekend.
All right, awesome. So I'm sure there was a big difference between how you raised capital earlier in your career, how you raised capital through digital marketing, and now how you're raising capital with AI. So can you compare? I see your eyebrows going.
Yeah.
Can you compare and contrast?
Donna, that's a great question. Actually, at its core, nothing has changed. Okay? Really, nothing has changed. The only thing that has changed is the mechanism by which you raise capital. All right, so let's go back to pre-2012 days. And I'm guessing probably the way that most of you raise capital today, even. So that is, you do it in person. So think about the people that you've raised capital from. It might be friends and family, or they may be from new investors. So let's go to people that don't, and cast your mind to these conversations that you had, to just visualize what I'm talking about. Think about somebody that you have raised capital from, that you had no relationship with initially. So the way that it used to be before 2012 is that you typically, the cliche is you join a country club, or you would ask your financial advisor or your lawyer or your accountant to make an introduction to, right? That's what you do. And then you'd go and meet them. And that meeting would be an initial introductory meeting. And then you would have some follow-up. You say, it was nice to meet you. I'm going to send you the thing that we talked about. Or your prospect would say, I'm going to check with my accountant and I'll get back to you. Right? Some kind of follow-up. And then you'd follow up. You'd send them the thing. They'd get back to you. You'd either meet them again. You'd talk them on the phone, etc. And so you would have this series of meetings and phone calls and other kinds of correspondence during which your prospect would get to know you and build a relationship with you, right? You would nurture that relationship until such point that the prospect trusts you enough to decide that they want to invest with you. And at that point, you would say, okay, good, we've got a deal. The corner of walk and crosswalk, let me get the offering documents to you to review. And then once they'd reviewed them, you'd send them the wiring instructions, right? That's the in-person world. That's how it used to work pre-2012. It's the only way you could do it. What 2012 did, or the Jobs Act of 2012, was it said you don't need to have a pre-existing relationship. In other words, you didn't have to establish a relationship with anybody first. You could solicit them online, or advertise, but they still need to establish a relationship with you, not for regulatory requirements, but because until they have a relationship with you, until they have come to know, like, and trust you, the three pillars of any kind of marketing, it's particularly online, but know, like, and trust are the three pillars. Until they reach that point, they're not going to invest with you. So in the past, what you would have to do is meet them, meet and greet, and everything I just described the in-person world does. All that's changed is that you can now establish or enable them to establish that relationship with you without actually having to have any direct contact with you. In fact, your prospects are, as accredited investors, they are 95% of accredited investors have degrees, advanced degrees, or professional qualifications. They run businesses, they're physicians, IT pros, they're professionals of some sort. They're busy people. They're successful people by definition. They don't have time to sit with you for hours upon end to learn who you are and figure out who you are and decide whether or not they trust you enough to invest. So what you do now, and I pick up my prop and wave my phone in the air. It's all blurry because of the background I've got on, but I wave my phone. What they want to do is they want to be able to do research on you in their own time without actually being pitched or having to spend all this time with you. So how do they do that research? Well, traditionally, they go on Google, well, right? They run a Google search and your website would pop up. And typically if you're doing it right, your website and your LinkedIn profile will pop up. Well, if those two resources do not contain answers to all the questions that they might have about you, what's going to happen? They're either going to contact you directly, which is just laborious for everybody, or they're going to go to somebody else who does answer all their questions for them online. So what you need to do is you need to have on your website content that describes your background, track record, investment policy, philosophy, investment thesis, essentially preemptively answering all the questions that all of your prospects inevitably are going to have anyway, so that they can learn who you are through their own research. You want to control that narrative. They're going to do it anyway. They're going to control that narrative. So you want to have all that information on your website. So what happens, Donna, is that instead of having back and forth one-on-one conversations, you create a platform that has all the answers to their questions in the first place already there. And they then do research on you. They learn who you are remotely without you having any direct contact with you. And that is how you scale. Now you can have, instead of one-on-one speaking each time, which is just very time consuming, and it's what I used to call the dog and pony show. You're repeating the same thing again and again and again, right, to different people. Now what happens is hundreds, if not thousands of people can simultaneously get to know, like, and trust you by just going to the resources that you provided for them online. So really nothing's changed. All that's changed is how you communicate your story. But the psychological mechanism of getting people to know, like, and trust you before they invest, that's consistent. That hasn't changed for thousands of years.
Interesting. So how are you using AI then in this process now, or are you? I mean, 'cause
Yes.
internet is, website is pretty online 101 sort of thing. So
Okay.
what's
So the way to
AI coming in? Yep.
Okay. That's quite a big question. How do I use it? So I'll just answer how I use it, not why I use it.
Okay.
So now I've got a household of people all coming through. So there's all kinds of noises going on, but that's okay. And if my dog comes up here, I'll introduce him to you.
Okay.
You'd like to meet him. He's a lovely doggy. Okay, so right. I'm not even sure where to start with that. How do we use it? Hold on one sec. All right. So at the very basic level, we use AI really as an assistant. I mean, I know you hear that. It's very cliched. But for example, give you some examples. So how do you find deals? I'll give you an advanced example before we even start. So how do you find deals? All right. So you subscribe to, 10, 20, 30 brokers' email lists. You go to CoStar or LoopNet or whatever sources you use. Or CBRE, you fill out their kind of high-level filters. I'm looking for small bay industrial in Vegas, and so now you start to get emails with these deals, right?
Mm-hmm.
So acquisitions teams typically will trawl through hundreds of those every single day. Our clients would talk to them. I get up on a Monday morning, I'll have 100 emails that I got to trawl through. And as you go through your, and what's the process? So the process is, okay, you open up your inbox and you go through each one, and mentally you run a screen on those emails and you decide, does this particular offering fit my criteria? Is it in the right location? Is it the right age? Is it the right asset class? Is it the right price, et cetera, et cetera? So you mentally go through that process. And then if it doesn't fit, you delete. And then you go to the next email. That is incredible grunt work to do that. It's time consuming and very, very, very tedious. So one system that we built actually scans your emails for you and identifies those that meet your criteria. Which ones meet your first level of criteria? So actually all you get are those deals that meet your criteria. Hope I didn't answer that. Those deals that meet your criteria, all right? So instead of having 100 deals in your inbox that you've got to trawl through, now you might only have 5, but they're all exactly what you want. So now you can spend your time drilling down on those, getting the offering docs, not the offering docs, getting into the deal room to know what the deal is about and start analyzing it. Okay, so now you've only got 5 deals, but what we're seeing is that our clients now are going from analyzing, and typically they would, and that process takes half a day to actually go into the data room, grab the data from all of the rent roll and the income statement, whatever you've got, put it into your pro forma and run that analysis. So that's a half day's work right there. So what we're doing is now we're increasing the size of the funnel. So instead of 100 emails a day, now you can accommodate 500 a day. You could never have done that before, because now instead of getting 5 deals out of it, you get 25. But that's still a lot, because each one of those you've got to analyze at the next level. So the next level is to automate the process of running those deal room documents through your spreadsheets to see whether or not it actually fits if it actually works for you. So that's the next stage of automation, right? That is very, very advanced, what I just described to you. At a simpler level, get back to a simpler level, we use Claude a lot. Claude and ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, those are the main ones that I use. Okay, so those are the main ones. And I can actually give you some tangible, actionable guidance on what you should do that would make your results with Claude a lot more effective, if you would like me to.
Absolutely.
Okay. So what you probably find happens, I'll give you two examples, two things that you can do immediately, like as soon as this call is over. That's what I recommend you do. Go to Claude. By the way, if you've got 2 screens, and I have 3, but you've got 2 screens, open up Claude in one screen and open up Claude on the other, okay? On the one screen, go to the bottom left, at least that's how it looks on my computer, bottom left, where your name is. Click that and go to settings. All right. Actually, I could show you this. You want me to screen share? I mean, I can actually give you practical things.
You should be able to share.
Okay. Let me just open up Claude over here. Okay, here we go. So I will screen share. I'll show you what you should do here. Let me make sure I've got the right screen here. This one, screen 2, I think. Do you see Claude over here?
Yes, back at it, Your Majesty.
Yes, so you can actually tell it what you want it to call you. I'll show you how to do that. So come down here to the bottom left. All right, click on that and go up to settings. This is really important, by the way. Before we even do that, I'll tell you why you should do this. First of all, it will save you an enormous amount of time, because you're going to get significantly higher quality output when you start doing this. All right. That's really the most important thing. So go to settings, and the first thing that you'll see in here is what should Claude call you? So I just put Your Majesty. All right. It's funny because I get up at 4 o'clock. I start working at 4 o'clock in the morning. It doesn't say hello, Your Majesty. It says welcome, night owl, or you're up early, or something like what? Always got some kind of clever comments about the times of day that I work. So in here, you want to put a narrative about who you are. All right. So create the narrative, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute as well. So that's one thing. If you use ChatGPT a lot, or if you use Claude a lot, and you've got the memory switched on, you can just say, that's why I say you should have 2 screens. Open up the other screen and say, I'm filling out this section in Claude settings. All right. Here, I'll show you how to do that as well. So you just copy that, go to Claude. All right. We'll go to Claude, and I'm going to show you a super cool tool here. I don't know if you're going to hear me do this, but watch this. Let's see. I'm doing a live demonstration right now. You see that come up? Did you hear me say that?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm using an app called Whisperflow, whisperflow.ai. This is the best app you could possibly use. I don't even know what it costs. I'll put it in the chat. I don't even know what it costs. But this is the best thing since sliced bread, that. Actually, you know what? I should give you I've probably got an affiliate link that will give you a free month or something. And I get a free month if you, and anyway, I can't be, it's going to take me too long to
do
find
it afterwards.
It's incredible. This is the best app it's the best thing since sliced bread. But I did just do that. So let me just copy this now, and we'll go over here. And I am demonstrating how to do my settings in Claude. give me a brief summary for this section in the settings about me. All right. And then I'll just put that there. Perfectly okay. So there we go. And let's see. So now Claude knows a lot about me. You can see I do an enormous amount of work on Claude. There's a million things going on over here. So I'm asking Claude, help me fill out this section. Perfect. All right. So it's giving me this section. It knows all about me. Boom, boom, boom. And there we go. And I could say, give it me a bit longer, etc. Now I go over here and I can just drop it in there. You can do the same thing. It's right easy to do. Or you could do this instead, like this. Let's pretend you know nothing about me. Start by asking questions to help me fill out this part in the Claude settings. Right? So perfect. Isn't that brilliant? Don't you just love that?
Easy.
Dictation tool. It's the best thing in life. I mean, I'm like a super fast touch typer, but this is the best thing I've ever seen. Start by asking me questions. Very important. Okay, let's pretend you know nothing about me. All right, so here you go. It's ask a list of questions. I'm not going to answer them, but go through a list of questions, and then it will give me the content that I need for this section on in settings. All right, so that's how you can do that easily. You don't have to think. All right, it's trying to avoid thinking and let Claude do the work for you. Okay, so that's one area that you want to do that. Then go down to capabilities. This is kind of cool as well. Let's just have a quick look. So what you want to do is check capabilities and read all the, learn more stuff and everything. But you want to, again, provide, you had a CYA at the beginning. My CYA is read the learn more before you do this. Okay. But once you've read the learn more, you can then follow either these toggles or not. But search and reference. So I like Claude to search for references and relevant details for prior chats. The reason that's cool is because it will remember things. It will say to you, Donna, okay, yes, I'm answering this question, but remember when you did this last time? Maybe you want to incorporate that. That is incredibly powerful. That's like having a brilliant assistant with a perfect memory. Generate memory from chat. And there are risks and whatever, but, learn more and figure out why or not you might want that. I put it on. Load teals. Okay. And then I click all of these. AI powered artifacts. What else we got down here? Those are your basic things. Okay. So those are two real simple ways of customizing Claude. Now, you want to see something really, really cool.
Please.
Okay, so really, really cool is this. Writing down here, use styles. So when you're in Claude, you can click this button and it will show you use styles. So what use styles do is it will give you a writing style, normal, learning, concise, explanatory, formal, or you can create your own custom style. Oh my goodness me. So I particularly like the Financial Times style of journalism. I like the way they structure articles. I like the way that they introduce articles. Just the writing style I like a lot. So I created a writing style that is the Financial Times writing style. So now whenever I select that and say, write me an article on something, or, I want to create a LinkedIn post, or this is my thesis about what's going on, help me put together an article, it will write it in the style of the Financial Times. Oh my goodness. It's incredibly good. Really, really good when you do this. All right. So if you want to know how to do, last thing I'll show you. Actually, if you want to know how to do that really well, I would suggest, what I did to build this was I downloaded 4 or 5 articles that I really liked the structure and style of. And then I uploaded that and said, mimic this style. Okay. But there are other ways to do that. I'm going to show you one last thing, and then we can move on to some relevant questions, whatever you want about AI or real estate, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Donna, I'm going to ask you a question. You know what the word prompt is?
Yes.
A prompt. Yeah. So when you prompt, how do you prompt? How do you write prompts?
As an expert of something, for example, there's a formula you want to give it a context of.
Right, there's a million people have told you that you got to have context, you got to have this, you got to have that, and this, that, and the other, and blah, and blah, and you can get out all kinds of, PDFs, and people try and tell you this. Don't waste your time with any of that.
No, okay.
Here's how to do it. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
Let's actually go to another. Let's go to another Claude thing here. Okay, so and let's get rid of our Financial Times thing here, and let's say, what do we want a prompt for? Let's say we want to create a
AI real estate for capital formation.
Well, hang on, but we got to ask it to do something.
Oh,
So
okay.
let's say we want to create a news brief that covers, let's just say, for argument's sake, a news brief that covers the latest updates on small bay industrial in Las Vegas. Okay, so you want to track what's going on in Las Vegas. That's your deal, right? Small bay in Las Vegas, correct?
Small Bay is actually in North Dakota, but that's okay.
North Dakota. Okay, North Dakota. Okay, North Dakota. Okay, so watch this. I want to create a news brief that covers the North Dakota market for small bay industrial real estate. Okay, just don't you love this tool? I'm not typing. So I need a prompt for it. And I want you to write the prompt for me. Before you start writing the prompt, what questions do you have? Two things happen there. Three. One, this is what I'm writing about, right? This is my objective. Two, I asked Claude to write the prompt. Why? Why not? And three, the key thing is ask me questions. All right. So I've given a loose description. I've instructed Claude to write a prompt, and I've asked it to ask me questions. All right. So let's see what it has to say here. Okay. A few questions. Okay. And let's go ahead and let's just run through this whole thing. All right. Sources. Okay. It won't take long. This is how I do it. It's just because I like to have a notepad of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
This is just what I do all the time. Where's the thing? Okay, open it up over here. Right, so I just jot this down, and then using Whisperflow, is your brief your own deal distributed to sponsors or investors? This is just for my own deal sourcing intelligence. Weekly, strictly North Dakota, but sure, let me see Billings and Sioux Falls as well. Okay. Do you have a size under 30,000 square feet? Structured detail, market activity. Let's do structured sections. Let's see. Should the prompt direct the AI to specific sources? Cast wide and filter by relevance. Cast wide and filter by relevance. Okay, there we go. And should the brief include deal screening signal, e.g. conditions, disfavor, acquisition? For now, let's just go purely informational, okay? Purely informational. All right, so now, boink, grab that, pop this in over here. There's all my answers, boink. All right, and now, here's the prompt.
Wow.
It's there. Why even bother trying to figure it out? Claude knows best. Just ask it. Section 1, section 2. Okay, now here's another trick you got to keep an eye out for. All right, perfect. Perfect. It's written the prompt. Why even mess about? Why even try writing a prompt? This is the best thing. All right, now let's just do this. Topic covers. Web search is open. Okay, run the prompt. Okay, let's see what it comes up with. That's set up your settings.
Scary, but it's great at the same time.
set up your settings. All right, get into that. I mean, really kind of dive into those settings. The more you do of those, the better. Now it's doing this thing. And the other thing is how to write a prompt. You'll never write a prompt again. Why? Here's the brief. It's already done. Perfect. All right. And then if I'm presuming that you know how to do this. In fact, you might find this interesting. I presume you know how to share as well, right? You know how to share?
I usually tell it to create a Word doc, but maybe there's an easier way.
Okay, I'm going to show you right now. No. Okay. Right. I'm going to stop talking. And anybody that knows me knows that if you don't stop me talking, I won't. So over to you if you got any questions. I'm going to send you this in a second, hopefully.
Okay, thank you.
Questions about anything, not just this, but capital formation or whatever you want. Oh, you haven't seen the half of the scary. You want to see the really scary? If you
Okay.
want to see the really scary, this is the really scary. Okay, so go to settings. This stuff is trippy. Go to capabilities. I didn't show you this before. Input. So if you use Chat GPT, okay,
Mm-hmm.
if you use Chat GPT a lot, it has a memory of you. You can import what Chat GPT knows about you into Claude. So now Claude has Chat GPT's memory of you. So you just hit start import. It gives you a prompt. Copy the prompt, drop that into Chat GPT, okay, like that, and hit go, and then upload what you get here. It's what Chat GPT knows about you that's really scary, actually. And if you run this on Claude, it's also scary. Kind of, oh my goodness, I can't believe you knew that. Okay, so here's your brief. And did we do? Yeah, so here you go. I'm gonna give this to you, everybody. If you want, I want to create a brief. This is the whole thing that we just did. You see this button up here that says share?
Oh, okay. And Claude, it's there. All right.
Click, you see that? Share, create public link, copy link. I'll put that into the chat. And now, where's chat gone? Where is Chatteroonie? There it is. There. So now you've got that whole interaction. Let me make sure I'm sending you the right one. There you go. So that entire session about how to write a prompt and how to create a brief is there, including the results. So you can have a look through that and see. And now you can just start quizzing it. Okay, so I'm going to stop sharing.
Well, thank you for that. That
Any
was
cues that you have?
mind-blowing. Like,
I'm happy to A.
so let's just talk a little bit. I mean, first, let me ask, does anyone have any questions about what they just saw? I'm sorry, Tom, you raised your hands.
Yeah, thank you, Donna. Adam, I'm curious. So I've tried to use ChatGPT. I haven't tried to use Claude for this yet, but I try to have it scan the internet and like my website, for example, like without having to do screenshots or shares of here's what my web page looks like. I try to have it actually scan that or like my Instagram profile and see, hey, what do you see? What could be improved? But I haven't been able to get it to actually pull high quality information from that. Have you ever tried that, or do you know a method that I should try?
Put your website address in the chat, will you? I'll show you another way to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna shamelessly pitch something. I have a 4-week training coming up at the end of April. I just finished one. It is 4 weeks, 4 2-hour sessions with me, and I'm going to share my screen again. 3 special guests, and I walk you through all of this from basics all the way through to building agents. All right. So if you want to join that, hopefully it's on my website, gowercrowd.com. I think there's a link there somewhere to it on the homepage. So if you want to take a look at that, you're more than welcome to join. I would love to have you. We're going to have hundreds of Canadians join us. So hang on. So I've got your website here. Well, how do I get, where is share again? Share screen. And we'll go back to this. Okay. You ready? If Donna, you've already been impressed by what I've done here. So you're easily impressed. That's all I can say because there's not much to it. But here, watch this. If you've got socks on, just watch them get blown off. This is your website, right? Is this your website, Tom? Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you can stay off. And so, what do you want to know about it?
Well, so I mean, that right now I know is just kind of a base landing page, and I'm trying to build it out more. What you spoke on in the beginning was exactly right. People want to use this as a screen of who you are.
Okay.
So I guess my question to the AI would be like, hey, how do I do a search, an SEO for this? And I would probably tell Chat or Claude, I would say, hey, find what
What do you want
someone
the
like,
website to do? I'm
yeah,
interrupt.
like I would say, look at like Grant Cardone's website. What is he doing that would work well for this,
You
and
still
compare
not
the
answered
two?
my question. What do you want the website to do? Do you want the website to attract investors so you can raise capital?
Yes.
Okay, that's all we need to know. Like, what
Okay.
function do you want the website to have? All right, I don't mean to be rude. I'm just
No,
cutting
thank
you
you.
off. I want to get to the right question.
Sure.
Okay, okay. So here we go. See this up here? This is in Chrome. You see that? You see my mouse? You see my mouse running along here? Okay, so I'm moving up over here. This is where all the tabs are. Ask Gemini. Okay, so let's click that. Ask Gemini. Okay. Tell me how this website can be improved to optimize it for capital formation, i.e., raising equity capital from accredited investors. Okay, boink. This is Gemini. This is built into Chrome. Okay, here you go. It's giving you a whole list of things that you can do. Right there. So you can run this on anything. Gemini is incredible, actually. You can run. So this is giving you some. Okay, so let's see. So I wouldn't use. Okay, if you want to use. Okay, what's Grant Cardone's website? Grant Cardone. Which website do you want him to use?
GrantCardone.com, I believe. One word.
Okay. I'm not sure if he's exactly the right guy for you guys to be mimicking, because he has a billion other things going on. So I would, but if that's who you want to mimic, let's go ahead and do this. Okay. What does this guy do that I don't? Okay, so let's just pop that there. Give me 3 easy things to do to change my website that Grant Cardone does on his website. All right, let's see what it says. Taking a look at industries capital is polar opposite of what you're doing. That's what he says. What he does and that you don't.
Nice.
Okay, so here's your list. I mean, it's right there in Gemini. You can just chat with the AI while looking at the pages that you want to do, right? That you want to optimize. If you really want to know, again, I know this is a bit shameless. I shouldn't really do this, and I don't mean to be quite.
Oh, you can.
I've actually written a book on this, and where the heck it is? It's only a $7 thing, and if you don't like it, I always give you your money back. Where are my books? Let's see. Syndicate. Okay. So this actually is really the blueprint that you should use.
All right.
Because this is based on all of the websites. Because our clients raised over $1 billion. So we know exactly what the structure of your website should be in terms of its architecture. And there's a video, it actually comes with some training from me, this thing. So actually, you get the book, there's some free training that's attached to it. So, and it will guide you through exactly how to build your website architecturally. I won't go through that now because there's too much to talk about. But it will give you the basics for how you want to structure your website. But here, this is really the tool to use is Gemini. Why not, right? Gemini, right there. It's built into Chrome automatically.
That's perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. You know what else you can use Gemini for? Actually, if you go to Google Drive, this is insane. Go to your Google Drive. I'm not going to do it now because I want my client stuff in there. Open up your Google Drive and say, go through this folder and find. Oh, there is something I can show you actually. here. I'm going to have to pull it over here because I got to open it up first. This is kind of cool. I'll just show you how powerful this stuff is. By the way, seriously, you know what? While you're sitting there waiting for me to find this thing, let me get rid of this. I think I just put it up this morning. Yeah, so on my website, here's this thing. Join it. I mean, at least take a look at this. This is at gowercrowd.com. This is the next cohort for that. I wasn't expecting to do this, but I don't want to be cheesy. But if you do find this is of interest, then seriously consider it. It's ridiculously underpriced. So here we go. So check this out. Okay. So now I'm going to replace this. Are you still there? Playing picture in picture. Huh? What happened?
We saw it, then it went away.
Okay. Why did it do that?
Minimized somewhere.
Wait a sec. So I'm not really sure what happened. Pause share. How do I stop share?
There should be a button to stop
I
sharing.
forgot. Can you stop it for me? You should be able to do that. Oh, here we go. All right. So I'm going to open this up again. Not really sure what happened. I hope you didn't. What did you see when I stopped doing that?
It was a Google Drive.
Huh?
It was a Google Drive with a bunch of files.
Okay. All right. So here, okay. You can't see anything now, right?
Correct.
Share screen. Okay. This one. Screen 2. There. Okay. Can you see this one?
Yes, that's what I saw before.
Mhm.
Okay. So here's this Google Drive. This actually is, and I don't know why I can't see you anymore. Oh, there you are. Okay. So this drive is the entirety of the accelerator program. There's actually 14 sessions. There's slightly fewer this time. There were too many. It was too much. So now you've got a folder, right? You've got a folder in your Google Drive. You can just actually, here's Ask Gemini. I can do it here or I can do it here. Ask Gemini. And I can say, what was that dictation tool that Celeste recommended from one of her sessions? All right. So here you've got, there's 14 hours more of training here. All right. So how the heck you remember something from a folder? Let's see if it can find it. It won't always get it, but let's see if it can pick it up. All right. So this is Gemini again, built in. So now we're not TLDV. No, there was another one. There was another one. Something about Whisper. I'm just going to give it a secret thing here. Hey, it's given some others though. Let's see. Let's see if it'll find it. All right. Voice to text. Oh gosh. Of course, naturally, now I'm showing you Whisper Flow. There it is. There's her session, and it's showing exactly where it found it. It's actually in a transcript, Whisper Flow. So you can use Gemini to do exactly what you were asking, Tom. And you just sit there and chat with it. Boom, boom, boom.
No, that helps a lot. Yeah, I didn't know Gemini could do that.
So I have a motto when it comes to AI. Creativity, curiosity, and a willingness to explore. You've got to have it's almost like you have to have a child's mind. Kids, they take the phone, they click everything and press everything and try everything and see what works and what doesn't. Uninhibited, with caution, right? You don't want to do wacky things. And when you get into agentic workflows, you've got to be extremely careful. But just play around with it. Just press these buttons and see what pops up and say, hey, can you help me do this? Can you help me do that? Or even go to Claude and say, what other tools can I use? Anyway, as you can tell, like I've said, I won't stop if you don't stop me. So I'm going to stop.
So we'll just weave it back toward capital formation just a little. So these are all fabulous, fabulous tools and ways to make articles and blog posts and find things. And so now you have all this great information in AI. So lead us down the path to using it in capital formation.
Okay. I'm not screen sharing anymore, am I?
No.
Okay. Tom, let's answer your question. Actually, why don't we go back to your website and I'll tell you exactly what to do, because it's the best way. Is that all right?
That's fine. Really... I will say a little preface, I guess. The website right now is geared towards me underwriting and screening deals for newer GPs, and I'm going to be rebuilding it for capital formation. So that's my one preface, but let's do it.
Okay, so let's take a look at that. And I'll give you some guidance. This actually applies to everybody on this call. If you're raising capital, there are a few key things that you need to have. Okay, so I'm going to go back to share screen here. Okay, so now we've got Tom's website, correct?
Industriescapital.com.
Correct?
That's it.
Okay. All right. So there's a few things that you need to have. First of all, you've almost got it, which is actually pretty good. You've got a lead generation form right at the top here. I'm going to show you one of our clients. Actually, trying to think who would be the best to share with you. All right. So I'm an advisor to this company. They're an unusual, it's agriculture. So what you want to do is you want to have a lead gen form on the website that has just asks for two things. You don't even need name. You just need an email address, but name, email, and accredited or non-accredited. Again, actual minimum that you need is an email address. That's all you need. Why? Because you can get everything else later. Right? Everything else you can get later. The big step is getting somebody to give you their email address. Once you've got their email address, you can communicate with them. They gave you permission to communicate. So that's really all you should have here. Make it as easy as possible with a lead gen form on your homepage. But what you also need to have here, multifamily deals that survive bank reality before you commit. I don't know what that means. And I'm not sure. Independent underwriting risk analysis. So, are you off? What services are you offering on this website?
So I will before LOI send me the T12, the rent roll, the OM. I will underwrite the deal, and I underwrite the downside to tell you if this is going to survive reality once vacancy creeps up or interest rate bumps up. The other stressors that arise in a deal, so that I'm not framing upside.
Okay, so this is not set up for capital formation. Let me ask, do you get many people filling out this form?
No.
None. Okay. Right. And there's reasons for that. Okay, let's just shift to capital formation or raising capital instead. But you can apply the same thesis that I'm going to describe to you now to this, if this is what you want to continue. If you want to continue selling these services, then you can apply the same thing. But your website needs to start with it needs to have at the very top, it needs to have a compelling hook. If you pardon the pun again, Ken and Donna. It needs to have a compelling hook. It doesn't mean a picture of them. It just means something that captures their attention and answers the only one question that they have. Okay, I asked you a question about what do you want your website to do, and it's difficult to understand the answer. I'm going to ask you another question. All right, actually, I should ask other people. Calvin, are you on this call? Are you sitting there? Did you fall asleep? Come off mute if you're awake. Calvin is asleep. How about you, Jeff? Come on, be brave. It's okay. Olu or Dale, are they here? All right, so they're either too shy or nodded off, probably the latter. Okay, so what is the one thing, Tom, this is all for you.
Jeff's on another call, he said.
I like it.
So I charge $1,000 an hour, so you're getting some free. Okay, so what is the one thing that anybody is in anybody's mind when they land on your website? There's only one thing, and that one thing is, what's in it for me? That's all they care about. That's all they care about. This here has to answer that question. All right, has to answer that question. The best tagline on a website, and by the way, you can figure all this stuff out with Claude or ChatGPT. Don't overthink these things. This is how you use AI to raise capital. All right, use the technology that is available for you or to you to do the hard work. In the past, I would tell people noodle over this for several weeks because it's hard to get. Now, just spend a few minutes on ChatGPT or Claude, and you'll figure it out pretty quickly. But you need what's called the big idea. The best one that was ever written was Origin Investments, who famously raised $105 million in 17 hours. It's a famous campaign that they ran. They used the same tactics and techniques that I do. I'm actually speaking to Michael Episcope again in a couple of weeks. You can tune in and listen to that and be on my podcast. But the big idea, and theirs was, you deserve a better way to invest in real estate. Okay, you deserve a better way to invest in real estate. Okay, so I did some extensive research. This was all pre-AI. Extensive research. What are the common terms that go into the big idea on your website? How do you capture somebody's attention? There are 3 key terms, of which at least 2 you should use. The word you, so that people know it's about them. When you're asking what's in it for me, if the word you or yours is in your headline on your website and the big idea, they know you're talking to them. Okay, that's number 1, the word you. Secondly, you want to have the word real estate, so people know it's about real estate. You would be surprised. Donna has asked me to please explain jargon. This word, multifamily, is jargon. People don't know what multifamily is. You have to explain to them it's apartment buildings. Don't expect them to know. So you've got to say it's about real estate. So they know it's about real estate and they know it's about you. And the third term that you want to use is the word invest or investing. This stuff might actually be in Syndicate, Tom. I'm not sure. The book that's in the link, that's in the chat here or something somewhere. It may actually all be in there, actually all this stuff. But so you want to have those 2 of those 3 words, you or yours, invest or investing, or the word real estate. Okay, at least 2 of those. Then what you want to have is a lead generation form, which is why you've almost got there with this, but you want to keep it simple. All you actually need is an email address. In fact, let's have a look at CrowdStreet. I bet CrowdStreet that all they ask for is an email address. Oh, they've changed everything now. They're all over the map. Yeah, CrowdStreet are a different company altogether. But I think Origin, they've got Get Started. Everyone's doing things differently now. But basically what you want is a simple lead gen form that says, give me your name and email address. All right. Didn't I just say that? Okay. So that's what you want there. And then what you also need, and this is really the key, is you need a section that you've got a mission section. That's kind of cool. Why industries capital exists. Okay. So what you want to have here, first of all, never use stock photography. Use photographs of deals that you've invested in or worked on that you have the rights to the photograph, because you want to have consistency across all of your messaging. So not just the written word, but also photography. So if you post on LinkedIn, you got the same pictures, using your logo. You're using the same colors and fonts, right? You want to have consistency across everything. So don't use stock photography, use your pictures of deals that you've actually done. Now, you've got an interesting section here. So you've got, this is as close as you get to having educational content on the website, all right? Mission. So this is how you can create some content from this. So as you go through this, there's a lot of jargon: institutional underwriting discipline, multifamily, operator. What is an OM? What's a broker OM? Few survive downside stress, independently, capital allocation. All right. Best case DSCR. Okay, so let's go back to Gemini and let's just ask, based on this page. Okay. Based on this page, give me titles for 5 topics that we can unwrap as educational content for people who land on this website to understand why the services are credible. Okay. So let's see. So it's going to read this page and let's see what it says here. Beyond the broker's OM. So now it's giving you some ideas for content. It's incredible how you can do this now. Do not, Tom, do not have AI write this content for you. All right. But what you might want to do is we can do something like this. Let's copy this and let's go back to Claude. And we'll just go to new chat. Okay. I am on a presentation with live participants. Let's just drop this in here. And I want to demonstrate how to write an article like the one listed below. However, I want to be sure that participants understand it's important to weave into any content that they produce. I might get a full stop there. Their authentic view of the world and of this topic. All right. So for demonstration purposes only, ask me some questions about how my view of the topic below for this article, and then help me write the article. Okay, so what I'm asking Claude to do is to take this topic, but I'm asking it, what is my view of this topic? I don't want to say to Claude, write the article. That's not my view. It's not my view of the world. So if somebody comes to you, Tom, and they say to you, tell me about why most pro formers fail reality tests, and you start blagging on about something that is completely different from what ChatGPT produced or from what Claude produced, or worse yet, all you get out of ChatGPT is slop, right? Meaningless content. You're going to lose credibility immediately. So you want to use the tool here to draw out of you your authentic view of this topic. And the way to do that is to say this. Ask me some questions about my view, or actually not my view, because I don't want it to remember this as being my view, about Tom's view, the owner of the website and the person I'm doing this demonstration for, of the topic, all right? Below for the article. So about your view. Okay, so what questions does Claude have about this topic for you? This is how you create truly authentic content. Few questions. Okay, so I won't go through the whole thing. So, actually, look, there's only 3 questions. Has Tom personally, listen, I'm going to let you do this, all right? You know how to do this, but I'm not going to go through this because we don't have enough time. I do need to wrap up. Donna, I've been talking for an hour and a half and I'm about to expire. But you get the idea, right, Tom?
do.
Yeah. So what you now want to do is you want to create on your website, using these incredible tools that I've just shown you, a section that is education, an educational section. So here, we built this whole website. This is all authentic. This was all done pre-AI, believe it or not. So this was all handwritten. But you create a section on the website that explains your thesis and what it is that you do and why you do it and what your background is. And And over here, you can see, and I just lost Gemini. So, there's the question still there. So Gemini's come up with 5 topics that you can actually write content about. Be authentically you. Don't be lazy. Doesn't take much to do this. Ask Claude to ask you questions. Answer those questions. Create authentic content. Put it on the website. Now, the reason you want to do that is that when somebody hears about you on LinkedIn or in a podcast or one of these other people here and they want to get to know you, they go to your website. Now they can learn about you. They can learn who you are, what your true background is. So you don't have to do any of that educational process anymore. They'll do the research on you, on your website. And so when you have contact with them, they will already be predisposed to working with you without you having to go through that whole process yourself, one-on-one. It gets back to what we originally were talking about.
Know, like, and trust.
Okay, I'm literally about to expire.
Okay.
Do you want to meet my dog?
Yes, of course.
Sure.
Okay, hold on. Here he comes. Hold on. Okay. Come here.
Tail wagging, but it's blurry.
Yeah, well, come on. Up here. Come on. You want this? There you go. Good boy. Oh, I've got them. Hang on. Let me take this off here. Hey, listen. Hold on. Wait a minute. Blur. Okay. Okay, there you go. Easy. Good boy.
Adorable. Aw, loves you. She.
It's a he.
Oh,
If you saw him from the other end, you'd know he was a he.
okay. All right. Thank you so much, Adam. Thank you, everyone, for joining. As I said, this replay will be available in about a week. I'll send you a copy, and you'll also get a copy of my book. So you'll read all about our downturn. Thank you so much, Adam. We really
Thank you.
Nice to meet everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for having
Thank
Don.
you.
All right.
Have a nice evening, everybody.
All right. Bye, guys.
recording.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Good night, everyone.